interfere.
Nah, but I heard it was supposed to be really good.
Except for those times when they did interfere. Like when she made the fossil into sand and it didn't crush the girl. If she was really an Eternal, she would just let it happen. Like, just let the girl get crushed. So yeah, Drew doesn't like standing by and watching people kill each other. And over time, this weighs on him. And one day, he decides to abandon the mission and stop the violence, but also take away these people's free will. So yeah, obviously, Earth is a planet that's holding a celestial. And the Eternals have to make a decision. Oh my god, are we going to let Earth get destroyed and let this celestial be birthed and allow the emergence to happen and let the celestial create a lot more life? That's the big dilemma. Oh my god, if we let the celestial live, then that could mean a lot more life throughout the universe. Or we could save Earth and kill the celestial. Because humans are pretty cool. I think it's pretty obvious the right choice, you know? Like, just let Earth go. Maybe the Avengers can, like, go off in a spaceship and find a different planet to chill on. Give birth to this god that will create so much more life. It's just selfish letting people live at that point, right? But I wonder which one ends up...
Some Trump games.
You shouldn't pay those dues. You should not pay your dues. Because they're selling you to hell. You're going to be going to hell. You're not going to have any job.
They start off, and that's the beginning.
You can
I
forget
didn't tell people that they're going to hell. I don't care what you're talking about. Politicians should never tell us constituents
made in
that they're going to hell.
Crazy for real.
Stay in hell. You're going to hell. So there is Donald Trump, former president, not understanding at all how the economy works, and especially how it works for working people, and the fact that when you have stronger labor protections in the United States, in fact, it protects you from losing your job abroad. It gets you more money. It makes you competitive. It helps you not do a race to the bottom as global capital would like. And there are stats that bear that out, unlike what the former president said. Workers who are members of labor unions actually make 18% more than their non-union counterparts.
I started playing Pokemon Go again because of my coworkers.
On union membership published today. A report shows that the median weekly earnings of full-time salary workers who are union members in 2022
It's also a lot more accurate when you throw the ball on.
$16 compared with $1,029 for non-union workers.
I even bought this little device.
$10,000 more per year.
I could turn it on.
So I don't know.
Like if I'm walking around or if I'm in a vehicle and it automatically spins Pokestops and automatically catches Pokemon. Even if I'm not playing the game.
Trump doubles down on it. This is a guy who, you know, tries to campaign from Michigan, from a plant that isn't unionized, and fakes like he's a populist, like he believes in working people. Before we move on to get that strike update, Senator, I just wanted to ask you because I think that even though he said this, we all know how stupid it sounds. But I think for a lot of Americans, there is this idea that unless, and especially from corporations, unless all workers grovel and accept pennies for their work, we will lose their job to China and to someone else, and it'll all be the workers' fault.
Yeah, not putting any of the onus, and I love that setup.
They got levels now, like
we don't have
you can catch a 1-star Pokemon or a 3-star Pokemon, and it changes a 3-star opposite.
And you are exactly right. You hit all types of nails on the head. In that the onus is constantly being put on workers, instead of the onus being put on the CEOs of these companies who always have a golden and or platinum parachute, even when they monk it all up, the technical term. Trump is a faux populist. That is what President Trump is. He talks a good game. He's not going to act it. And sometimes he doesn't talk a good game. He lets people know exactly where he stands. But because he has such hubris in his rhetoric, people, they start to believe it and fall into it. And it is an absolute seduction. Now, the fact that he went to a plant franchise, I've said this before,
it was like he's walking on
that was
eggs.
not unionized.
That was one of the craziest things. It's like it's something that Trump was saying, like messing up a common thing that people say.
Standing up, and it is because of their stance that they allow even non-union workers, which we know the majority of American workers are non-union, to be able to get better wages.
Because if you're walking on eggshells, it's because you're trying not to break.
I want us to start to see
that's the point of that statement. You're trying your best to, like, eggshells are really fragile.
And if
So
Trump
you're
really was
trying not to
serious
break the
about being a
extra.
populist,
So then saying he's walking on eggs is
he
like
could do some things.
He's so nimble.
What
He's
was his
Jesus
book?
Christ.
He's so
Power of
nimble.
he's not even like making like any kind of like energy. Like his energy is so perfect that he doesn't even crack the egg. And we have to struggle to just walk on eggshells that are already broken.
Labor, those days are over.
That's Trump
And
fucking
it is
shit
really
up.
unpatriotic.
That is
What far too many of these CEOs are doing in these companies, and they are crushing the middle class, the almost non-existent middle class, and we subsidize many of these companies, Francesca. People forget that, like the Walmarts of the world, we are subsidizing them because they're not paying their workers enough to have a living wage. So stop.
Isaiah's working at Walmart.
They workers
He's making
in this
like
country who are doing
$1,000 plus every 2 weeks.
companies, and let's put
Just
the
scanning
onus
products and
on
bringing
the
it to people.
CEOs and call
pretty
them
good.
what they
From
are.
what I
They
heard,
are
Walmart doesn't pay too much.
money
They're paying him.
who really don't care about the
Maybe they
future of this
changed that
country,
already.
and it shows because they are not even making sure that their workers have a living wage.
Exactly, and this, he's engaging the same kind of scare tactics that they do.
That's right.
And let's look at what's going on with UAW. 23% of the union is on strike currently. The president, Sean Fain, has not announced new striking plans, but he said he could announce them at any time. Before, it was just going to do Fridays. Now it's going to be at any moment. However, there haven't been any new announcements, new plans going on strike yet. There is less daylight between the two entities in terms of the big three auto companies.